All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about pruning blueberries. Blueberries, honestly, they're kind of a pain in the tuchus. It's really an art and takes a lot of work to figure out blueberries, and they're kind of picky, but if you learn to prune a blueberry, you can prune about just any shrub. So let's start out. So first thing to think about, dead and disease growth. So we got plenty of like little tiny dead branches here, stuff growing on here. You can see there's like some living stuff on here, but there's also a lot of this stuff just kind of flakes off and breaks. So I'm just going to kind of go through, can prune off any dead disease growth, especially larger branches. So down here, you got this one here. It's all black and necrotic up at the top. Looks like there might be some living buds on it, but I just don't like this. So I could choose to cut it right here, keep this young fresh stalk, or I could just take out from the base. I'm going to take it out from the base. I don't really like the way that one's growing. We got another dead branch right here. Trim that out. Just going through and just trimming off all dead and disease growth can be a good way to start. Another thing is I want to clean up the center. You can see here it's going to be really thick. Right now, maybe not look so bad because there's no leaves on it, but eventually this thing's going to leaf out. You're going to have all these branches like that are touching. We have blueberry branches that touch, they end up dying. So you want to get rid of that. So I'm going to just kind of go through and just clean up the center. So any branches that are kind of coming in here, try to make it more of a vase shape, more open in the center. Let's see, this is pretty messy in here. All right, that's pretty good. You're also going to notice that there's some small growth in here, just these young baby branches. They're kind of coming in the middle. I don't take out this young wheat growth. And so it's not necessarily, it's a good idea to leave some young growth, but when it's only growing this much in the season that it grew, it shows it's kind of weak. So I'm just going to kind of trim out all those guys. Now I'm going to try to get some of these branches that are hanging out far. So this is a really good one right here because this thing's pretty much toast. It has some buds on it, but this is a pretty unhealthy looking branch. It's pretty brown, doesn't have that fresh growth, so I'm gonna cut this one off. It's also hanging out a little bit. So sometimes you'll see branches that just don't look very vigorous. In fact, this whole branch here does not look that great. So this is a good example here. Not say that this branch is super old, but I think it's old enough that cutting it out will help to give energy to more of the younger, fuller branches. So I'm just going to cut this one out at the base. Making sure that when you cut at the base, I'm not cutting up here and just leaving a big chunk, because this is just going to rot or pop out small branches. I'm going to cut this thing way at the base, get rid of all that. All right, let's check here. I got a crossing branch right here, so I'm going to take that one out. This one's rubbing right up against this guy, so I'll take that out. Let's see here. Basically, I'm just kind of going through, and it's always good to take a moment to step back and take a look at it. And I could get super picky with this one. Okay, I see a crossing branch here. You kind of decide, do you want to let this young branch kind of thrive, or do you want to take out this older branch? Probably going to let the older branch stay. Just kind of trim back this guy. And so I'm probably going to go through and do a little more picking on it, but I'd say this is a good enough for now. If I'm just trying to go fast through, I'd say like this is acceptable. It's more open in the middle, no branches hanging out. All the branches that are coming up are pretty healthy. I've got most of the dead growth off. Of course, there's plenty of little branches that could use a trimming, but I'd say for just doing a quick 1-2 minute prune, this looks pretty good.